vibes. Racks on me. She said, boy, your eyes look chinky, I speak Guapanese.
We're back. We're gonna take this video a little differently, y'all, a little differently. Today we're gonna talk about, is it worth owning a F82 M4 in the big 26? So first things first, do I think it's worth owning a possibly 10-year-old car in 2026? So my answer is gonna be yeah, to be honest. I love the look of the car. The car is amazing. It does perform really well with what today's standards is when you have Hellcats and you have these crazy horsepower cars. First things first, the styling of this car. Can never go wrong with what you can do or accomplish with this vehicle. If you want to go nice, nice, sleek, low key, if you want to go club sport like I'm doing, went through the mod list with the cars and all that. So I'll just break it down again. So currently I'm running a 19 by 10 in the front, 19 by 11 in the rear on the wheel setup, 305 30 19s on the rear, 275 30s in the front, all Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. Currently running a Ridgeline ring spec wing and also a GTS front chassis mounted lip. Besides that, full bolt-ons besides downpipes, and I have a MHD stage 1 tune. Key takeaways: the driving ability of this vehicle is insane. The first time I ever got into my M4, I hit a 100-mile-per-hour corner or an 80-mile-per-hour corner, around those, and the car stood planted. It's the craziest thing ever when you have that much confidence in a car, or nothing will happen. I'm not going to say nothing won't happen, but if you understand the car and drive it, then you'll understand that, any little movement you could potentially ruin this car with, slippage or anything like that. Because even under stock power, this car does brake traction a lot, which is pretty insane to think about. In terms of interior-wise, it's amazing. You can get an option. You get the old man spec is what we call it. When people first bought these cars, usually older gentlemen or older people will buy these cars and kind of spec it out without the carbon and go like wood trim or stuff like that. But for the most part, most of these cars come with carbon on the interior. Great interior, even for the year. Like I have a 2017, I still have Apple CarPlay, carbon fiber interior. It's nice, it's sleek, it looks nice, it looks like you're in a luxury car. But you're not. These cars are kind of accessible now. Right now, you can pick up a 2017 M4 for maybe 35 to 40K, maybe a little more, depending on mileage and spec. When I first bought this car, I bought it about 3 years ago, and it was out the door from the dealer was about 47. At the time, it had 49,000 miles. I definitely feel like I did overpay on the car, but it was also 3 years ago, so prices were a lot more insane back then. And you might be watching this video because you're looking into getting a F82 M4. I would say, the last 3 years I've driven this car, owned this car. It's been amazing, to say the least. It's been amazing. It has been, knock on wood, if I have any wood. Knock on wood, but there hasn't been any major issues with this vehicle in terms of check engine lights or anything like that. I daily drive this car. I drive it every single day. I drive it to work, I drive it to car meets, I drive it to the grocery store, I drive it everywhere. I do have a dedicated second car, but I love driving this car. This car is amazing. There's a road presence. This car is what a driver's car is. But I did lower my car. I had EMDs before the current setup that I have now, which is Olin's coilovers. I did have EMDs, and after 3 years, my shocks did blow, and I also had to replace a top hat. The rubber ripped, but comes with going with lower cars. It comes with lowering your car. It comes with the territory. It is what it is. But besides that, anything mechanical wise, it's been sound. and so far it's been great, and I've been loving the car. When people say that Beamers are expensive, they are expensive, but they're also really expensive if you don't take care of maintenance early enough. That's one of the main things. BMWs are expensive in terms of parts or what you need, but if you're driving an M, you should be able to know and understand that when you have an M, you have to pay M prices. It's just how it is, just the game. Find yourself a good indie shop. Always use FCP Euro or anything with a lifetime warranty. That's really going to help you in the long run. Other than that, let's get into common issues or mistakes that people tend to do when they actually buy these type of vehicles. So, common mistake is buying a M4 with a gazillion owners. You know, luckily I was able to find my M4 with a one owner from Vegas. All of its service records were up to date up until he traded in the car, so that's a plus. Also had PPF on the front end. That was also a huge plus for me. But yeah, no, like, seriously, don't try to find these cars that are, you know, they have a bazillion owners, and then you complain on the internet saying, hey man, the F82 or the F80 or Beamers just suck in general. Just don't buy a clapped out car. And that's in general. That's a rule of thumb for any car that you buy. Just don't buy a clapped out car. It doesn't make any sense. Look, it's about to rain. But don't buy a clapped out car, y'all. Now it's raining, which sucks. What the fuck? It rains. It's raining right now. It's been shitty here in the eastern part of the United States. So, like the northern eastern parts of the United States and PA and all that, it sucks, man. But we're in the interior now. We're in the car. We're in the actual car. Hey, also, shout out my sister. Got me a BMW teddy bear. This thing is A1. So, after I said, common misconceptions of people owning BMWs or Beamers in general, this is my first BMW ever. Also, granted, a lot of people do like to go work their way up into the Beamer, 328, 330, 340s, M3s, same thing with the 4 Series, they kind of go up. This was my first time getting into a Beamer. This wasn't my first 400 plus horsepower car. Before this, I had a built Genesis that I did a built motor, bigger turbo, bigger injector, standalone ECU. So I was keen, and I knew what kind of car I was getting into in terms of speed. And also, like, the main thing was looking for that, 1 to 2 owner car, that has service records and all that stuff. But when people say Beamers suck, Beamer this, Beamer, growing up, you hear that all the time. That's the main thing. Beamers are too expensive. This is that. The reason why these cars are expensive, one, it's a European car. European parts and all that other stuff. The engineers that create these parts for these cars, they think about this stuff really, 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 really well. And they give it a lifespan. You have service intervals. They want you to follow that service interval. They want you to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. The car becomes cheap when you actually maintain your car how it's supposed to be maintained. This isn't like a Lexus. I have a 99 LS400 that I can probably drive that car to the brink of extinction, and it will still crank right up and turn on and go. These cars, I would say, like, since I've been owning this vehicle, this isn't a car that you should just be parking up. Granted, some people do that, and that's fine. People have money to do that. They can have this car as a weekend car. They can have this car as a track toy. But I feel like these cars need to be driven. It's one of those things. These cars, you turn it on, you go, and it wants to go. It doesn't. It's not one of those things where you want to just keep this car, on a battery tender or something like. Just drive the car. People just really don't drive their car, and then they have all these problems. Just drive the car. To me personally, this is a driver's car. This is in between the E92 and the G the E9X and the G8X. This is that perfect in between. The E9X, to me, it's just raw, man. I actually, like, this. That would be the only car I would go to or decide to buy if I want to get another M car. I would get like an E9X. I think, to me, they sound amazing. The drive looks crazy. Like, everything about that car just gives off like old Beamer vibes. It's just perfect. The F8X, I feel like, is that in between where it has technology, still has analog. You know, it has those things that make the car, you know, a newer car, of course, but not so new where it feels like the car is or has too much technology. That's one of the main things I do love about this car. All right, let's get the elephant out the room. S55 has an issue that people talk about online every single time. If you hop on a forum, hop on anything, and you ask what's the common problem, or, you know, what is a common failure in the S55, the first thing people are going to say is crank hub. The thing about crank hub is, from reports, they say it's a 1% chance that your crank hub fails, but there's no real way to determine whether or how the crank hub fails. Some people have reported the crank hub can fail on stock power just by kickdowns. Other people say that they drove in the parking lot 5 miles per hour and you know, the crank hub spun. Other people going, you know, high in the RPMs and it spun. It's no real deciding factor of what and how these crank hubs spin. That's the unfortunate thing about these cars. Great cars. But again, you have that thing in the back of your head that you just don't know if the car is going to spin a crank hub. And if people don't know what a crank hub failure is, the crank hub holds your timing chain and also your oil pump, I believe, sprocket. What happens is they're supposed to spin together. And when you spin a crank hub, they spin in different directions. One spins this way, the other spins that way, and what happens is that timing chain, you lose timing, like you jump timing, and that thing can have catastrophic failure where it comes out, you know, your timing chain smacks all inside of your engine. It sounds insane. It sounds crazy, which is like the most insane shit you will hear when you're buying a performance car. So with that being said, if you do follow the channel, I will be getting my crank hub done because I don't want to think about that. That's one of the main things. I really don't want to think about none of that. You know, when it comes to me driving my car and I'm like, oh, can't do a kickdown, can't do this, can't do that, because I'm gonna ruin my engine. And on the East Coast, a lot of people charge $3 to $4K with crank hub and, you know, and labor included. You know, those are one of those things where you just have to do it. I feel like you just have to do it. I'm gonna do it this. I want to say we're in December. 2026 is literally a week away. Matter of fact, a couple days away. We are currently, it is December 27th, I believe. Yeah, December 27th. Crazy. So, no, this is actually the 28th. It's the 28th. I'm sorry. December 28th. That is literally like, I'm gonna December 28th, about maybe February 2026 or March 2026, around there. I'm going to get my crank hub done and go full power on stage 2 plus. Also going to do downpipe, so stay tuned for that video. That will be coming in the next coming months. Just, again, it's a $4,000 job, so, you know, 3 to 4K. But with that being said, I am going to do that. So if anybody is out there looking for a S55 or a S55 powered car, whether it be an M2 competition, a M3, M4, I would recommend doing the crank hub. A lot of people say not to do it. If those people say not to do it, they probably have $1 million because I'd rather spend 4K on an engine, 4K on a part that's gonna essentially bulletproof my engine, instead of spending $15,000 or $10,000 on an engine, on a brand new used engine. I know my engine's fine. I drive it every day. Last 40,000 miles. It's been perfectly fine as a daily driver. I drive it everywhere. But also, if I do want to push that power, and there's a component that I can put onto my car that will essentially make my car, you know, bulletproof, why not, right? To hell with it. But decided, I had homies that had Beamers, and they just, you know, they're diehard fans of Beamers, and I never understood why until I got into my car and I was like, whoa, this is insane. I get why people love Beamers. The cars, the drive speaks for itself. It drives amazing. The car drives amazing. You know, they can't knock that. One of those cars where it's like, you feel like the actual shit when you're driving, which is weird to say. But when you're in a car, when you're in a Lamborghini, you feel like you're in a Lamborghini, you're driving, you feel like this shit. Though you can't tell me you don't feel like this shit. You feel like this shit. The presence of this car is crazy. Crazy. Final conclusions here. I think personally, if you do decide to get an F82 or an F8X platform car or an S55 platform car, I would definitely recommend getting one, especially in the 2026. These cars are only going to get cheaper as time goes by. Definitely look out for one. Try not to get multiple owner cars. Not knocking at it. Maybe those, by miraculous luck, you might have a four owner car that they all took care of the car. But not a lot of people are that lucky. Try to look for a 1-2 owner car, at least something with a lot of service record history. You'll want to do that too, because people like to beat the shit out of these cars. I don't personally. I drive my car. I love my car, and I don't really beat the shit out of it. But a lot of people do. They don't care. And they go, they sell it off. They sell it off to a dealership. Here comes you buying your first M car, and it's a complete dog shit. You want to make sure that the car is, one, taken care of, and two, the right decisions for you. Also, if the car does have a crank hub done already, make sure you get paperwork for that. That's a big job that if somebody did do in their ownership, you will want receipts for that. Those are one of the things that might add a premium to the price of your vehicle, just because that job has been already done. And also, you have that peace of mind now that the crank hub has been done, so you don't have to worry about that. That's also a plus. So if you could find a car with a crank hub done, crank hub fix, whether it be 4-pin, 2-pin, spline, make sure you have receipts for that. They do have mile stoppers for these cars, so pay attention to that stuff, okay? Pay attention to the dash. It has like little, you can see where the screws are, where the dash is at. See if there's any paint missing on that or anything like that. Mile stoppers are a major thing in these cars. I don't do that. I don't want to do that, but people do have that. So just be mindful of that as well. BMWs, again, they're not that bad. There's always the memes and all that stuff. Oh, oil this, oil that. Every car has its own thing, its own problem. Regardless of what manufacturer you go to Subaru, they burn oil. You go to a Honda, there has to be, newer Hondas, they have like technical electrical glitches and shit like that. It's just all that little stuff. Every car brand has a problem with their car. Just make sure the car you're getting is taken care of. That's it. These cars are like in that in-between of raw and still luxury. It's an amazing in-between. I really love this car. I think you guys should definitely try to get this car if you can. And if you're watching this video, more than likely you are looking at this video for details on the S55 and the F8X platform. With that being said, y'all, hope you like this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn on that bell notification to get the next update on a new video. And we'll see you in the next one, y'all. Peace.
And they begging me to stay out the street. I ain't never been to church, got them demons all with me. If they talking about guns, that we carry all these semis. And my loyalty 100 like 2 times 50.